Earth's surface is covered with water, but only a small proportion of it accounts for fresh water that can be put to use. This fresh water is mainly obtained from surface runoff and groundwater that is continually being renewed and recharged through the hydrological cycle. All water moves within the hydrological cycle, ensuring that water is a renewable resource. You might wonder that if 3/4 of the world is covered with water and water is a renewable resource, then how is it that countries and regions around the globe suffer from water scarcity? Why is it predicted that by 2025, nearly 2 billion people will live in absolute water scarcity? Water scarcity and the need for water conservation and management. Given the abundance and renewability of water, it is difficult to imagine that we may suffer from water scarcity. The moment we speak of water shortages, we immediately associate it with regions having low rainfall or those that are drought-prone. We instantaneously visualize the deserts of Rajasthan and women balancing many matkas, earthen pots, used for collecting and storing water and traveling long distances to get water. True, the availability of water resources varies over space and time, mainly due to the variations in seasonal and annual precipitation, but water scarcity in reprint 2025-26. Most cases is caused by overexploitation, excessive use and unequal access to water among different social groups. Where is then water scarcity likely to occur? As you have read in the hydrological cycle, fresh water can be obtained directly from precipitation, surface runoff and groundwater. Is it possible that an area or region may have ample water resources but is still facing water scarcity? Many of our cities are such examples. Thus, water scarcity may be an outcome of large and growing population and water everywhere, not a drop to drink. After a heavy downpour, a boy collects drinking water in Kolkata. Life in the city and its adjacent districts was parlayed as incessant overnight rain, meaning a record 180 millimeters, flooded vast area and disrupted traffic. Consequent greater demands for water, and unequal access to it. A large population requires more water not only for domestic use but also to produce more food. Hence, to facilitate higher food grain production, water resources are being overexploited to expand irrigated areas for dry season agriculture. Irrigated agriculture is the largest consumer of water. Now it is needed to revolutionize the agriculture through developing drought-resistant crops and dry farming techniques. You may have seen in many television advertisements that most farmers have there. A Kashmiri earthquake survivor carries water in the snow in a devastated village. Fig 3.1, Water Scarcity. 20 Contemporary India, 2. Reprint 2025-26. Own wells and tube wells in their farms for irrigation to increase their produce. But have you ever wondered what this could result in? That it may lead to falling groundwater levels, adversely affecting water availability and food security of the people. Post-independent India witnessed intensive industrialization and urbanization, creating vast opportunities for us. Today, large industrial houses are as commonplace as the industrial units of many MNCs, multinational corporations. The ever-increasing number of industries has made matters worse by exerting pressure on existing freshwater resources. Industries, apart from being heavy users of water, also require power to run them. Much of this energy comes from hydroelectric power. Moreover, multiplying urban centers with large and dense populations and urban lifestyles have not only added to water and energy requirements but have further aggravated the problem. If you look into the housing societies or colonies in the cities, you would find that most of these have their own groundwater pumping devices to meet their water needs. Not surprisingly, we find that fragile water resources are being overexploited and have caused their depletion in several of these cities. Atal Bhujal Yojana, Atal Jal, is being implemented in 8220 water-stressed gram panchayats of 229 administrative blocks/talukas in 80 districts of 7 states, viz. Gujarat, Haryana, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, and Uttar Pradesh. The selected states account for about 37% of the total number of water-stressed, overexploited, critical, and semi-critical blocks in India. One of the key aspects of Atal Jal is to bring in behavioral changes in the community, from the prevailing attitude of consumption to conservation and smart water management. Source, Annual Report, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Government of India 2022-23. So far we have focused on the quantitative aspects of water scarcity. Now, let us consider another situation where water is sufficiently available to meet the needs of the people, but the area still suffers from water scarcity. This scarcity may be due to bad quality of water. Lately, there has been a growing concern that even if there is ample water to meet the needs of the people, much of it may be polluted by domestic and industrial wastes, chemicals, pesticides and fertilizers used in agriculture, thus, making it hazardous for human use. Government of India has accorded highest priority to improve the quality of life and enhance ease of living of people, especially those living in rural areas, by announcing the Jal Jeevan Mission, JJM. The goal of JJM is to enable every rural household get assured supply of potable piped water at a service level of 55 liters per capita per day regularly on long-term basis by ensuring functionality of the tap water connections. Source, Economic Survey 2020-21, p.357. You may have already realized that the need of the hour is to conserve and manage our water resources, to safeguard ourselves from health hazards, to ensure food security, continuation of our livelihoods and productive activities, and also to prevent degradation of our natural ecosystems. Overexploitation and mismanagement of water resources will impoverish this resource and cause ecological crisis that may have profound impact on our lives. From your everyday experiences, write a short proposal on how you can conserve water. M multi integrated W multi-purpose river Ivor PPP projects and W water ater are our resources MNNM management. But how do we conserve and manage water? Archaeological and historical records show that from ancient times we have been constructing sophisticated hydraulic structures like dams built of stone rubble, reservoirs or lakes, embankments, and canals for irrigation. Not surprisingly, we have continued this tradition in modern India by building dams in most of our river basins. Hydraulic structures in ancient India. In the 1st century BC, Sringapura near Allahabad had sophisticated water resources. Reprint 2025-26. 21. Harvesting system channeling the floodwater of the river Ganga. During the time of Chandragupta Maurya, dams, lakes and irrigation systems were extensively built. Evidences of sophisticated irrigation works have also been found in Kalinga, Odisha, Nagarjunakonda, Andhra Pradesh, Benur, Karnataka, Kolhapur, Maharashtra, etc. In the 11th century, Bhopal Lake, one of the largest artificial lakes of its time, was built. In the 14th century, the tank in Hauz Khas, Delhi was constructed by Iltutmish for supplying water to Siri Fort area. Source, Dying Wisdom, CSE, 1997. Fig 3.2, Fig 3.2, Fig 3.2, Hirakud Dam. What are dams and how do they help us in conserving and managing water? Dams were traditionally built to impound rivers and rainwater that could be used later to irrigate agricultural fields. Today, dams are built not just for irrigation but for electricity generation, water supply for domestic and industrial uses, flood control, recreation, inland navigation, and fish breeding. Hence, dams are now referred to as multi-purpose projects where the many uses of the impounded water are integrated with one another. For example, in the Sutlej Beas River Basin, the Bakranungal project water is being used both for hydel power production and irrigation. Similarly, the Hirakud project in the Mahanadi Basin integrates conservation of water with flood control. 22 Contemporary India, 2. Multi-purpose projects, launched after independence with their integrated water resources management approach, were thought of as the vehicle that would lead the nation to development and progress, overcoming it. A dam is a barrier across flowing water that obstructs, directs, or retards the flow, often creating a reservoir, lake, or impoundment. Dam refers to the reservoir rather than the structure. Most dams have a section called a spillway or weir over which or through which it is intended that water will flow either intermittently or continuously. Dams are classified according to structure, intended purpose or height. Based on structure and the materials used, dams are classified as timber dams, embankment dams, or masonry dams, with several subtypes. According to the height, dams can be categorized as large dams and major dams or alternatively as low dams, medium height dams and high dams. Handicap of its colonial past. Jawaharlal Nehru proudly proclaimed the dams as the temples of modern India, the reason being that it would integrate development of agriculture and the village economy with rapid industrialization and growth of the urban economy. Find out more about any one traditional method of building dams and irrigation works. We have sown the crops in Asar. We will bring Badu in Bhadra. Floods have swollen the Damodar. The sailing boats cannot sail. Oh, Damodar, we fall at your feet. Reduce the floods a little. Badu will come a year later. Let the boat sail on your surface. This popular Badu song in the Damodar Valley region narrates the troubles faced by people owing to the flooding of Damodar River known as the River of Sorrow. Reprint 2025-26. In recent years, multi-purpose projects and large dams have come under great scrutiny and opposition for a variety of reasons. Regulating and damming of rivers affect their natural flow, causing poor sediment flow and excessive sedimentation at the bottom of the reservoir, resulting in rockier stream beds and poorer habitats for the river's aquatic life. Dams also fragment rivers, making it difficult for aquatic fauna to migrate, especially for spawning. The reservoirs that are created on the floodplains also submerge the existing vegetation and soil, leading to its decomposition over a period of time. Sardar Sarovar Dam has been built over the Narmada River in Gujarat. This is one of the largest water resource projects of India, covering 4 states: Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, and Rajasthan. The Sardar Sarovar project would meet the requirement of water in drought-prone and desert areas. Sardar Sarovar project will provide irrigation facilities to 18.45 lakh hectare of land, covering 3,112 villages in 15 districts of Gujarat. It will also irrigate 2,46,000 hectare of land in the strategic desert districts of Barmer and Jalari in Rajasthan and 37,500 hectare in the tribal hilly tract of Maharashtra through lift. About 75% of the command area in Gujarat is drought-prone, while entire command in Rajasthan is drought-prone. Assured water supply will soon make this area drought-proof. Source: Sardar Sarovar Narmada Nigam Ltd. https://www.sardarsarovardam.org. Ironically, the dams that were constructed to control floods have triggered floods due to sedimentation in the reservoir. Moreover, the big dams have mostly been unsuccessful in controlling floods at the time of excessive rainfall. Collect information about floods occurred in different parts of the country due to heavy rainfall in recent times. These floods have not only devastated life and property but also caused extensive soil erosion. Sedimentation also meant that the floodplains were deprived of silt, a natural fertilizer, further adding on to the problem of land degradation. It was also observed that the multi-purpose projects induced earthquakes, caused waterborne diseases and pests and pollution resulting from excessive use of water. Irrigation has also changed the cropping pattern of many regions, with farmers shifting to water-intensive and commercial crops. This has great ecological consequences like salinization of the soil. Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchayi Yojana has been started, which ensures access to some means to protective irrigation for all agricultural farms in the country, thus bringing much desired rural prosperity. Some of the broad objectives of this program are to enhance the physical access of water on the farm and expand cultivable area under assured irrigation, Harkate Keopani, improve on-farm water use efficiency to reduce wastage and increase availability both in duration and extent, irrigation and other water-saving technologies, per drop more crop, and introduce sustainable water conservation practices, etc. Do you know that the Krishna Godavara dispute is due to the objections raised by Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh governments? It is regarding the diversion of more water at Koyna by the Maharashtra government for a multipurpose project. This would reduce downstream flow in their states with adverse consequences for agriculture and industry. Make a list of interstate water disputes. Water resources. Reprint 2025-26. 23. 24. India, major rivers and dams. Contemporary India, 2. Reprint 2025-26. Our rainwater harvesting. Many thought that given the disadvantages and rising resistance against the multi-purpose projects, water harvesting system was a viable alternative, both socio-economically and environmentally. In ancient India, along with the sophisticated hydraulic structures, there existed an extraordinary tradition of water harvesting system. People had in-depth knowledge of rainfall regimes and soil types and developed wide-ranging techniques to harvest rainwater, groundwater, river water, and flood water in keeping with the local ecological conditions and their water needs. In hill and mountainous regions, people built diversion channels like the Guls or Kulls of the western Himalayas for agriculture. Rooftop rainwater harvesting was commonly practiced to store drinking water, particularly in Rajasthan. In the floodplains of Bengal, people developed inundation channels to irrigate their fields. In arid and semi-arid regions, agricultural fields were converted into rain-fed storage structures that allowed the water to stand and moisten the soil like the Khatans in Jaisalmer and Yohats in other parts of Rajasthan. In the semi-arid and arid regions of Rajasthan, particularly in Bikaner, Phalodi, and Barmer, almost all the houses traditionally had underground tanks or tankas for storing drinking water. The tanks could be as large as a big room. One household in Phalodi had a tank that was 6.1 meters deep, 4.27 meters long and 2.44 meters wide. The tankas were part of the well-developed rooftop rainwater harvesting. Collect information about flood-prone areas of the country. Water resources. Reprint 2025 to 26. 25. System and were built inside the main house or the courtyard. They were connected to the sloping roofs of the houses through a pipe. Rain falling on the rooftops would travel down the pipe and was stored in these underground tankas. The first spell of rain was usually not collected as this would clean the roofs and the pipes. The rainwater from the subsequent showers was then collected. A. Recharged through hand pump. B. Recharged through abandoned dig well. Rooftop rainwater is collected using a PVC pipe filtered using sand and bricks. Underground pipe takes water to sump for immediate usage. Excess water from the sump is taken to the well. Water from the well recharges the underground. Take water from the well later. Fig 3.3, Fig 3.3, Fig 3.3, Rooftop rainwater harvesting. 26 Contemporary India, 2. Fig 3.4, Fig 3.4, Fig 3.4. Tank is the rainwater can be stored in the tank till the next rainfall, making it an extremely reliable source of drinking water when all other sources are dried up, particularly in the summers. Rainwater, or paler pani, as commonly referred to in these parts, is considered the purest form of natural water. Many houses constructed underground rooms adjoining the tanka to beat the summer heat as it would keep the A coal leads to a circular village tank, as the above in the Kaza village, from which water is released as and when required. Fig 3.5, Fig 3.5, Fig 3.5, Traditional method of rainwater harvesting. Reprint 2025 to 26. Rooftop rainwater harvesting is the most common practice in Shillong, Meghalaya. It is interesting because Cherrapunji and Maziranram, situated at a distance of 55 kilometers from Shillong, receive the highest rainfall in the world, yet the state capital Shillong faces acute shortage of water. Nearly every household in the city has a rooftop rainwater harvesting structure. Nearly 15 to 25% of the total water requirement of the household comes from rooftop water harvesting. Find out other rainwater harvesting systems existing in and around your locality. Roomcool. Today, in western Rajasthan, sadly the practice of rooftop rainwater harvesting is on the decline as plenty of water is available due to the perennial Indira Gandhi Canal, though some houses still maintain the tanka since they do not like the taste of tap water. Fortunately, in many parts of rural and urban India, rooftop rainwater harvesting is being successfully adapted to store and conserve water. In Jandathur, a remote backward village in Mysuru, Karnataka, villagers have installed, in their households, rooftop rainwater harvesting system to meet their water needs. Nearly 200 households have installed the system and the village has earned the rare distinction of being rich in rainwater. See Fig 3.6 for a better understanding of the rooftop rainwater harvesting system which is adapted here. Jandathur receives an annual precipitation of 1,000 millimeters, and with 80% of collection efficiency and of about 10 fillings, every house can collect and use about 50,000 liters of water annually. From the 200 houses, the net amount of rainwater harvested annually amounts to 1,00,000 liters. Rooftop harvesting was common across the towns and villages of the Dar. Rainwater that falls on the sloping roofs of houses is taken through a pipe into an underground tanka, circular holes in the ground. Built in the main house or in the courtyard. The picture above shows water being taken from a neighbor's roof through a long pipe. Here the neighbor's rooftop has been used for collection of rainwater. The picture shows a hole through which rainwater flows down into an underground tanka. Fig 3.6, Fig 3.6, Fig 3.6. Tamil Nadu is the first state in India which has made rooftop rainwater harvesting structure compulsory to all the houses across the state. There are legal provisions to punish the defaulters. Water resources. Reprint 2025 to 26. 27. Bamboo drip irrigation system. In Meghalaya, a 200-year-old system of tapping stream and spring water by using bamboo pipes is prevalent. About 18 to 20 liters of water enters the bamboo pipe system, gets transported over hundreds of meters, and finally reduces to 20 to 80 drops per minute at the side of the plant. Picture 1. Bamboo pipes are used to divert perennial springs on the hilltops to the lower reaches by gravity. Picture 2 and 3. The channel sections, made of bamboo, divert water to the plant side where it is distributed into branches, again made and laid out with different forms of bamboo pipes. The flow of water into the pipes is controlled by manipulating the pipe positions. Fig 3.7. Picture 4. If the pipes pass a road, they are taken high above the land. Picture 5 and 6. Reduced channel sections and diversion units are used at the last stage of water application. The last channel section enables water to be dropped near the roots of the plant. 1. Collect information on how industries are polluting our water resources. 2. Enact with your classmates a scene of water dispute in your locality. 28 Contemporary India, 2. Reprint 2025 to 26. Exercises.